Shall I mention, Lynn, that I'm picking up from the last segment?
Go
okay,
ahead.
well, this is another segment. And it's a continuation of a story of when I met a couple in a stockbroker's office in the heart of Los Angeles, and one of the well-known streets in Los Angeles. And I invited them home to my house, and they gave us a discussion, and we listened to what they were saying, because they were so sincere. They were clearly very sincere, and they wanted us to learn about Yeshua, the Hebrew name for Jesus, and they were Jewish people themselves. And so we went to a Bible study, and I mentioned in the last segment that my wife was sitting on the left side of a wall, and I was sitting on the right side of a wall, which was rare for us. We were one of those couples that did everything together, especially something as important as a Bible study. Anyway, this man, he was teaching from the Old Testament, and I found it interesting. And then something came over me, and I can't explain it. I don't know where it came from. All I know is, I'd had business problems, and I'd been involved with a lot of money, making money and losing money, and everything was, mixed up in my life. And then all of a sudden, a woman who I later found out her name was Miriam came over to me, and she put her arm gently on my shoulder, and she said to me, Joseph, this was after the teaching stopped, and she said to me, Joseph, are you now ready to accept the fact that Yeshua HaMashiach, Jesus the Messiah, is the Jewish Messiah and Messiah for everyone in the world? And do you want to receive him into your life? And I can tell you, I knew at that moment that this was the right thing to do. I knew it as much as I knew that I wanted to marry my wife Elaine and marry my wife Valerie, who, as you know, passed on. And so I said yes, and she had a prayer with me, and she said, have you done anything wrong in your life? And I said, yes, I have. And she said, do you want to ask God to forgive you for your sins? And I said, yes, I do. And then I just want to tell you, I began to cry. I cried because from inside of me, I knew that there was a goodness coming into me, and I knew that there was something I needed to do on my part, which was ask God to cleanse me of my sins by turning to the Son of God and asking for forgiveness. And that's what I did. And I can tell you, and I'm not embarrassed to tell you, that I cried for 14 minutes. And it was a very special moment in my life. And now something else strange happened, or unusual. We said goodbye to a couple of people, just, hello, goodbye. And Elaine, my wife Valerie and I were holding hands, and we were walking outside towards our car. And Valerie said to me, she said, Joseph, there's something I need to tell you. And I said to her, there's something I need to tell you. And she said, Joseph, I have just received Jesus into my life as my Jewish Messiah, because I believe he's the Messiah, not only for Jewish people, but for the whole world. And I've done that. And I said to her, Valerie, I have just done the same. And we hugged each other, because we knew we had done something that was correct. We knew it was the beginning of a long journey. And if I get the chance, I'll tell you more about that journey as time goes by. But that's the story of what happened to us that wonderful day many years ago.